Hey guys! Hey guys, what's up? It's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have some new books I want to haul for you guys. I've been book shopping at some bookstores that I've never been to before here in New York City. Throughout the first few weeks of January of this new year, I've just been popping in and out of new bookstores here and there and collecting some more books. First, I wanted to kind of just share a small little vlog with you of my book shopping experience, and then I wanted to haul the books. Really quick before, I just wanted to remind you guys that I am selling my discounted books that I unhauled a few weeks ago on Pango Books, so check those out. It's like super discounted books that I bought for like $20. I'm selling for like $5. I'll put a cute little note inside for you. All of like the reviews for all of the books are also included on Pango Books. So if you're looking for some discounted books to start your new year, just check out my Pango bookshop. It's in my description. I guess let's just get into the vlog and then I'll tell you a little bit more about the bookstores that I went to after the vlog, and I'll do a little haul. Let's go book shopping.
In the way she walks, the way she talks, or the way she loves me. Just look at me, I'm like a monkey in a coconut tree. You know I'm overjoyed, 'cause boy, oh boy, she's my gal. She asks me when I say let's go out dancing. Your place or mine, don't waste my time with phone.
Okay, so that was a little chaotic, but here we are. I wanted to just briefly mention and talk about some of these bookstores that I went to because I had such a good time. First, for our 5th year anniversary, Jean-Luc took me to 2 bookstores. We just kind of spent the day together and kind of took a little vacation in our own city, which is really good to do if you live in a city. So we went to first Argosy bookstore, which is like this old and rare bookstore that has some of the books are from like centuries and centuries ago, some like really old Shakespeare stuff. They have books, autographs, prints, maps. It was so cool. I didn't actually buy anything there, but I looked through a lot. It was a really fun bookstore to just like spend some time in and look around in. So that is in Midtown on East 59th Street between Lex and Park. And then we also went to 3 Lives and Company, which is referred to as a snug neighborhood bookshop. I had actually never been to 3 Lives and Company, which is really crazy because it is a pretty known bookstore in Manhattan in the Village. It's on West 10th Street. It's a really well curated selection. They didn't have a ton of like fantasy books, which is totally fine. They had a lot of like great fiction books, great nonfiction selection, cool memoirs and stuff like that. I don't think I got any footage from 3 Lives & Co, but I did get some pictures. And then the last place I went was the book club bar, which was the coolest place ever. So it's basically, I think, a coffee shop by day and like a wine beer bar by night. It's also a bookstore. So I went there with my friend Taylor on a Friday night. And there's also like an outdoor area. So it's like some people were kind of like socializing. Some people were just at the bar reading. There was like a place with like couches and chairs. People were just reading. Some people were talking. It was just a really fun place. Like a few people were reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I'd like walk up to them and like start talking about it, see what part they were on. It was just like a really fun spot because again, like people that choose to go to a spot like that on a Friday night are definitely my kind of people, and it was just really fun to be surrounded by these like-minded people but in a social setting because again, it's like also a bar. It's not like going to another bookstore where you're like expected to be quiet and keep to yourself. People were reading, but it was also a fun kind of like social time. That is, I believe, in the East Village on East 3rd Street. So let's get into the haul. I'm going to try to go in the order in which I bought these. So this year, my goals are to continue to kind of delve into series. Last year, I really kind of started reading book series for the first time, like as an adult reader again. So I want to keep doing that. I want to get a little bit more into nonfiction. I've been challenging myself already this month with reading some more nonfiction that's not memoirs or biographies. So more like sociology-based stuff, some more self-help stuff, that kind of thing. I also want to see if I could start reading some classic stuff. I think I have a really nice selection of books here. Before I get into any of the books I bought at bookstores, I want to get into my book of the month box from January. So my actual book of the month pick for this month was The Fury by Alex. I think it's Michaelides. I hear some people say Michaelides. I feel like Michaelides sounds, that's probably what it is, but I'm not sure. One of my favorite books of all time is by this author. It's The Silent Patient. I also read The Maidens by him. It wasn't like my absolute favorite thing ever. And then this is his new book, which I have at this point in time finished. And I will give like my full review in my reading wrap up for this month, but this was not my favorite book. But it was a quick read. It was less than 300 pages. This was the book that I brought to the book club bar and read there, and I had a few people come up to me and ask me how it was because they had also read The Silent Patient. So full review coming later this month. It's a murder mystery like he's known for. It's about this playwright and this like famous movie star, ex-movie star. She's like retired, and this other actress, this other stage actress, and they all go on vacation to this little like just a little retreat on, you know, the movie stars, ex-movie stars private island in Greece, and one of them gets murdered. It's a bit like White Lotus-y in the sense that like, you know, someone dies in the beginning and then you have to figure out like who it is and why it happened and all that stuff. Okay, and then I also got 2 add-ons on my book of the month this month because book of the month is just so cheap to do add-ons. It's like $10 and these books everywhere else are like double that. I've obviously heard about Divine Rivals and need to read it, so I got the first Divine Rivals book. I've not read it yet. It is on my TBR for January. I'm trying my best. We will see. I hear wonderful things about this. Everyone loves this. It's like a bunch of love notes, like love letters exchanged between 2 people. When 2 young rival journalists find love through a magical connection, they must face the depths of hell in a war between gods to seal their fate forever. After centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again, but 18-year-old Iris Winnow just wants to hold her family together. Her mother is suffering from addiction, and her brother is missing from the front lines. Her best bet is to win the columnist promotion at the Oath Gazette. To combat her worries, Iris writes letters to her brother and slips them beneath her wardrobe door, where they vanish into the hands of Roman Kit, her cold and handsome rival at the paper. When he anonymously writes Iris back, the 2 of them forge a connection that will follow Iris all the way to the front lines of battle for her brother, the fate of mankind, and love. It's an epic enemies to lovers fantasy novel filled with hope and heartbreak and the unparalleled power of love. It sounds great, and I hear such good things about it. It's young adult too, which when I went to the book club with my friend Taylor, I immediately went to the young adult section and he was like, "Are you okay? Like, are you good?" I was like, "Yeah, are you good? You need to pepper in YA, okay? You need to pepper in YA." And the third book I got from Book of the Month is the sequel to Divine Rivals, which recently came out, Ruthless Vows. This is also an add-on. I don't want to read the back because I don't want to get any spoilers. Yeah, this came out in 2023, so like this year, but last year. Next, I did haul these books in my what I got for Christmas roundup, but because it was so close to the new year, I just wanted to include them. When I went home, my mom got me a gift card to this little boutique bookstore in her town. I ended up getting The Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I have not read Shadow and Bone. I probably will at some point. It's a trilogy that takes place in this world. I think that does take place prior to these stories, but they say that you don't have to read them first to read Six of Crows. People just recommend Six of Crows more, so rather than like committing to a trilogy, commit to a duology, and then like maybe later this year, like summer, fall, maybe I'll go into the trilogy. But let me know like if you've read the trilogy and the duology and like what you recommend and what your thoughts are on that. Six of Crows here. Ketterdam, a bustling hub of international trade where anything can be had for the right price, and no one knows that better than criminal prodigy Kaz Brecker. Kaz is offered a chance at a deadly heist that could make him rich beyond his wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. ... And then it lists all of the people that he has teamed up with. So we have a convict with a thirst for revenge, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, a spy known as the Wraith, a heartrender using her magic to survive the slums, and a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. Kaz's crew are the only ones who might stand between the world and destruction if they don't kill each other first. So you have Six of Crows, and then the second book in the duology, Crooked Kingdom. Next, I went to my friend's party, and I have lent her a few books. I lent her some of the ACOTAR books, and she was like, I'm reading ACOTAR, so you need to read this book. And she actually bought it for me, which is really nice. She's really into Outlander. This is like a long series. I'm gonna give the first one a try, see how it goes, see how I go with it. Yeah, this was written in 1991. It is an older book, but it was made into a TV show, and this was like sort of rebranded, this cover, in 2014 when the TV show came out. It's kind of like a Scottish time travel romance. Scottish Highlands, 1945. Claire Randall, a former British combat nurse, is just back from the war and reunited with her husband on a second honeymoon when she walks through a standing stone in the ancient circles that dot the British Isles. Suddenly, she is an Outlander in a Scotland torn by war and raiding clans in the year of our Lord, 1743. Claire is catapulted into the intrigues of a world that threatens her life and may shatter her heart. Marooned amid danger, passion, and violence, her only chance of safety lies in Jamie Fraser, a gallant young Scots warrior. What begins in compulsion becomes urgent need, and Claire finds herself torn between two very different men in two irreconcilable lives. I am excited to give this a try. It is a little longer. The pages are like pretty dense looking. It's a little over 500 pages, but it's a chic book. Yeah, I'm excited to talk to my friend about it because she's like obsessed with it and she has good taste. Next, I wanted to share the one book that I got at Three Lives in Company, which I'm very excited about because I am going out to California next month. So Jean-Luc's dad lives in Santa Barbara, but we're also going to be going to Palm Springs, spending a little time in LA and also Santa Barbara. So I thought, what better book to get than Eve Babbitt's book about her that girl experience in the 70s in LA. Early 70s? Late 60s, early 70s? Yeah. So this is Slow Days, Fast Company, The World, the Flesh, and LA. I want to read all of Eve Babbitt's this year, but I thought I'd start with this one. It's a little shorter. It's like 159 pages or something. So no one burned hotter than Eve Babbitt's possessing skin that radiated its own kind of moral laws, spectacular teeth, and a figure that was the stuff of legend. She seduced seemingly everyone who was anyone in Los Angeles for a long stretch of the 1960s and 70s. One man proved elusive, however, and so Babbitt did what she did best, wrote him a book. In the end, it doesn't matter if Babbitt ever gets the guy. She seduces us. It's cute. It's pink. And then I got 4 books at the book club. I wasn't going to get any, but it was like I had one glass of wine and I just bought 4 books. The first book I bought, my friend Taylor was like, I think if you want to start reading classics, which I didn't tell him. I wasn't like, I want to start reading classics. What are your recs? But he just saw me like go to the young adult section so quickly. He was like, you need Jesus. Like, you need to start reading classic literature, Emily. Here I am. So we have Rules of Civility, which is a novel by Amor Towles. The year of this is 1934. On the last night of 1937, 25-year-old Katie Content is in a second-rate Greenwich Village jazz bar when Tinker Gray, a handsome banker, happens to sit at the neighboring table. This chance encounter and its startling consequences propel her on a year-long journey toward the upper echelons of New York society, where she will have little to rely upon I'm reading this like Moira Rose. Where she will have little to rely upon other than a bracing wit and her own brand of Coolner fruit wine. It doesn't say fruit wine. That was a joke. Cool. Yeah. I love stuff that's based in New York as a New Yorker, and I trust Taylor's taste implicitly. Then I got 3 nonfiction books because, as I said, I'm really trying to balance my YA reading with some nonfiction. We got here The Story of Jane, the Legendary Underground Feminist Abortion Service by Laura Kaplan. First of all, I love this cover. Not that that has anything to do really with why I bought the book, but it's a cute cover, I think. The Story of Jane recounts the evolution of the abortion counseling service, codenamed Jane. It's my middle name, by the way. It was named after Emily Dickinson and Jane Austen. Thank you. The underground group of women who provided low-cost abortion services in Chicago in the years before the procedure was legalized. Organized in 1969 and active until the opening of the first legal abortion clinics in 1973, so for 4 years, Jane initially counseled women and referred them to abortion providers who set prices and conditions. As Jane grew, so did the group's capacity to protect its clients. Eventually determined to reclaim women's reproductive power in any way they were able, members of Jane learned to perform abortions themselves. An extraordinary history of one of Jane's members, The Story of Jane, is an urgent account of the organization's development, the conflicts within the group, and the impact its work had on both the women it helps and the members themselves. This was written in 1995, the year I was born. I love historical case studies. I never really loved reading textbook history. Like, I like looking at actual things that happened to people. Because I'm a storyteller and that's interesting to me. I like when history is contextualized for me through stories. And when I say stories, I don't mean that this isn't true, but it's like one person's and one specific place's story in that time period. I'm really excited to read this. Yeah. Next, I bought How to Do Nothing, Resisting the Attention Economy by Jenny Odell. I am really bad at doing nothing. I'm a product of my generation and of this time period, as we all are. And so I really struggle with doing nothing, especially when I'm alone. It's very difficult for me to just like turn my brain off and chill without going on my phone. You know what I mean? There's no description of this book. I feel like it's probably pretty self-explanatory. I'll just read some reviews real quick. An eloquent argument against the cult of efficiency, and I felt both consoled and invigorated by it. The New York Times. A smart, complex, and ambitious book that at first reads like a self-help manual, then blossoms into a wide-ranging political manifesto. New York Times Book Review. Clearly the work of a socially conscious artist and writer who considers careful attention to the rich variety of the world, an antidote to the addictive products and platforms that technology provides. The Washington Post, the path to freedom lies within the covers of this book, Wired. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. I think it's such a necessary read. I feel like I'm just always going. Even though I work from home and I work for myself, I just feel like it's like I've gotta every second just like be doing something, and it's not good. And the last book I got is Anger, Wisdom for Cooling the Flames. And the reason I got this book is because this is an election year. I find myself getting extra testy during election years, as we all do. I have a lot of anger surrounding the state of many things in the world. My goal this year is to stay informed and know what's going on, but also keep centered and like try not to let it affect me so much. I think it's based in like Buddhist principles. Yeah, it's the same author as Living Buddha, Living Christ. So it's kind of like a spiritual book about anger. It was under the Bodhi tree in India 25 centuries ago that Buddha achieved the insight that 3 states of mind were the source of all our unhappiness: wrong knowing, obsessive desire, and anger. All are difficult, but in one instant of anger, one of the most powerful emotions, lives can be ruined and health and spiritual development can be destroyed. With exquisite simplicity, Buddhist monk and Vietnam refugee, I want to say it's like Thich Nhat Hanh, gives tools and advice for transforming relationships, focusing energy, and rejuvenating those parts of ourselves that have been laid waste by anger. His extraordinary wisdom can transform your life and the lives of people you love, and in the words of Thich Nhat Hanh, can give each reader the power to change everything. Anger. So that's it. That's the haul. Yeah, let me know if you've read any of these books, what you thought, if you want me to read any of them like sooner than others. I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I will see you on Friday. I forget what video I'm planning on Friday, but I'm sure it'll be great. Yeah, have a good week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Bye.